Well, hello, my friends. Today we're finishing up the book of 1 John, chapters number 4 and 5. Now, when I was in, I'd say, first grade, I used to send little papers out to all the girls in the classroom, and I would say, I love you. Do you love me? Yes or no? And I have two little boxes. And if they checked yes, I was happy. If they checked no, well, I'd say, okay, I don't love you either. Well, you see, I know that wasn't real love, but it was all dependent on the response of the individual. And oftentimes that's the way our love is. We love someone as long as they love us. But God's love is unconditional. In fact, we find in 1 John chapter 4:19 that it says, we love him because he first loved us. My dad, when he was living, and my oldest daughter, they had this thing, they would say, I love you more. And the other would say, no, I love you more. And then my dad would say, no, I loved you first. And it was kind of a humorous because they would, instead of talking, they decided to just hold up a finger. And anytime they held up a finger, it meant, I loved you first or I loved you more. And so they were always holding their fingers up. Well, it is true. God's love, he loved us first, and his love is unconditional, regardless what we do. But we are to love God and also love one another. We talked about that yesterday. But in chapter number 4, verses 8 and 16, it says, God is love. God is love. And then in chapter 4, verses 7 and 8, it says, beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. We jump on verse 10, and this is love, not that we have loved God, but that he loved us and sent his son to be the propitiation for our sins. Beloved, if God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. And then it says, in verse number 12, but no one has ever seen God. If we love one another, God abides in us, and his love is perfected in us. And then in verse 17, by this is love perfected with us, so that we may have confidence for the day of judgment. Because as he is, so also are we in this world. And finally, in verse number 21, the last verse in this chapter, and this commandment we have from him, whoever loves God must also love his brother. Friends, it is vitally important. If we have a connection with God and receive that love, remember his love is unconditional, we ought to love him back. And in loving him back, we love each other. See, we can't really love each other properly until we love him properly. And so it's important, friends, to love God with our whole heart, mind, soul, so we can love each other. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.